I can't remember exactly when, but I heard two contradictory impressions of historians about Gandhi. That he stood for non-violence and peace and harmony was the bigger narrative.
Yeah.
But there's a small little narrative that came about his period prior to that, which is in the years between South Africa and, say, the Raubertide. So 1914 to 1919, when England was in the First World War, and Gandhiji actually encouraged Indians to enroll and go and fight. And this struck me as being contradictory. On the one hand, you become the apostle of non-violence and the inspiration for the Martin Luther Kings and the Nelson Mandelas several decades later, and then you started your life or this part of your career in life by actually saying, be violent and go and fight and kill, and that too for an alien power. He rationalized it, as I could gather from my small little readings, by saying that when you are oppressed and there's something patently wrong, then you should fight for it. I can't remember whether he had said this, but what passed my mind was, even Krishna said it in the Bhagavad Gita. But as I grew older, I realized that we are all a bundle of contradictions. And I gain nothing by proving it's a contradiction, because Gandhi must have had his contradictions. To say that he was without contradiction is ridiculous. So why don't I look at his larger message to humanity? And I don't think he spent the rest of his life telling people to fight against injustice. He gave the opposite message. So somehow this intrigued me and I got a bit interested. I can't say I'm a Gandhi scholar. I can't say I know a lot about Gandhi. But what I can say is, in my broader interest about humanism and compassion, Gandhi plays a very. So does Swami Vivekananda.
What, if not experiences, but what stories did you hear or research or experience about Gandhiji's compassion and humanism that you could articulate for us right now?
I mean, his whole life was full of humanism and compassion. It will be idiotic and almost impertinent of me to try to recall some episodes. I found that in every act of his, he was also a politician. Now, I am a Tamil, I am a Brahmin, I am an Iyengar, I am an Indian, I am a citizen of the world. You could be multiple things at the same time. And Gandhiji was exactly that. I believe that if you look at the history of the 20th century, in the field of politics and public life, Gandhi was, I would say, amongst the greatest Indians. I'm avoiding saying the greatest Indian because then you can get into a debate. So was Rabindranath Tagore. In the area of literature, if you ask me who was the greatest in entrepreneurship, I would say it is Jamshedji Tata. In fact, I'm writing a book on that right now. So that's the greatest Indians is very much in. And so you can add many more. Now, a person of the stature who at least qualifies, if not to be in central spot, as one of the 4 or 5 names of 100-year history of this country, one of the most turbulent periods of history, 1900 to 2000, or the 20th century. How can you not learn a little bit about it? I have another favorite, which I should admit. And unfortunately, my favorites are out of fashion for young people. But that's all right. That's to do with the generational shift. Is Swami Vivekananda. And although they could never have met, or it is not clear to me whether they met, let's put it that way, I found a lot of resonance in my mind and heart about Swami Vivekananda, who was also full of contradictions, by the way. But he had one message: humanism and compassion. And for that reason, I would say Rabindranath Tagore also. I grew up in Calcutta, so bit of a Bengali Rawaf effect. If I take my central thesis and my current preoccupation as humanism and compassion, all the four greats of the 20th century, in my opinion, Gandhiji, Rabindranath, Vivekananda, and Jamshedji Tata, in their different facets, like the facets of a diamond, they captured it through their actions in their lives. Were they contradictions? Of course, there were contradictions. Show me anybody since Adam who didn't have a contradiction.
I think it's only through those paradoxes that you learn something new that can emerge, right? So
I will hesitate to tell you stories of his compassion and so on. And I ignore the contradictions as saying that's human. That's being human. He's not God. He is not a Vishnu avatar. And Krishna himself is full of contradictions. We read the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Rama also had contradictions. I may be lynched for this by some people for saying this, but they were human incarnations. So they had contradictions. But you should look at the larger message. And I think where young people, when I say young people, let me say my grandchildren and my children, I would encourage them, and therefore I say young people. As a grandfather, I would like my young children to learn. Is the central message is humanism and compassion. And when Vivekananda said this in 1892 or 1893, when he went for that Chicago Parliament of Religions, Gandhiji was an unknown person. He got thrown out of a train in Johannesburg, Petermaritzburg. But Vivekananda said it. When he explained to the American audience, a foreign audience, young man, he's wearing a saffron robe, he's sitting there, 30-year-old, he said, I've never seen so much turmoil in the world. And you can repeat that from 1893 to today. You will make the same statement. And at some stage, intrigued by his repetition, the American audience asked him, Swamiji, what is your solution? He said, flood the world with spirituality. Now, I changed the word spirituality to humanism and compassion, because spirituality immediately triggers off in modern times other sort of ideas. It's not religion that I'm talking about, spirituality. Spirituality, to be any person who's humanistic and compassionate. Mother Teresa, Dalai Lama, they're all spiritual. They may or may not be wearing robes. Swami Vivekananda used to smoke, he used to eat meat, and he said, I don't see any contradiction in that. And I like that, because it's about being human.
So there were, if you focused it on one, or let's say two leadership capabilities that you were influenced by, that you truly applied in your own world of your own corporate career as well as being an author and everything, what would those two be? Two leadership capabilities that you were inspired by Gandhiji, that you imbibed to yourself?
A lot of leadership training is about the mind. Strategy, know where you want to go, persistence, determination, lage raho bunda bhai, raah pakad tu ek chala chal, pa jayega madhushara, Harivansh said Vachishta. That's all of the mind. But leadership that I have learned from Gandhiji, since we are talking about Gandhiji and some other people whom I know, is heart plus mind. And it is very difficult to teach heart. It's very easy, relatively speaking, to teach mind. And Gandhiji exemplified teaching heart. And he never taught heart. You sat with him. I have never sat with him, but from whatever I've read, you learned heart. And you were taught mind. So if the whole pedagogy of leadership can change or can mutate a little bit to teaching mind and letting people learn art, they're two sides of the same coin. And that's what has inspired me.
I was going to say spiritually amidst all of it, because I think always felt that he connected to the spirit of other individuals, even way beyond the heart. I mean, that's just my interpretation. And could see just for him to be able to see the goodness in people who were perpetrating violence or were, killing your fellow men, but to still have that capacity to go beyond the hurt, the injustice, the unfairness, see the beauty in somebody else's spirit and still speak to that. I think that's quite a feat. Yeah, it was incredible. And the reason I'm just sharing that is you're pointing to that, and it's just something so, the world needs so much right now. So how could leaders apply that heart in their leadership in everyday life of working in an organization?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The current, especially American, I'm not blaming anybody, I'm just saying literature is full of leadership lessons of Abraham Lincoln or Donald Trump. There are a lot of people with claims to that status of leader. And one thing they will all, the Dale Carnegie said, okay, ask the people who tell you to be clear-headed and go for it. Actually, the true mark of a leader, and Gandhiji epitomizes, is the ability to hold two completely opposite points of view at the same time and function. And Gandhiji seems to demonstrate that you're a good person and you're also a terrible person, and hold both in his head and operate. Mother Teresa also, whom I have seen, I can't say I know her. That's a remarkable quality. And a lot of the teaching always at the soup in which you soak future leaders, if I might use that, because everything can't be taught. In that soup, the importance of being able to deal with contradictions and not dismiss them. You're almost taught leadership nowadays as though if there's a contradiction, you're a confused fellow, you must dismiss one of the two alternatives. Or sometimes there are 10 alternatives. How do you solve the Ukraine problem? Ya to ye karo, ya wo karo. But you should be able to deal with the Ukraine problem. I'm just taking that, not that I'm an expert on the Ukraine problem. But I think I'm not forget who was it who said it, Aristotle, I think, that you can hold two completely opposite points of view and still function. And that used to absolutely aggravate people who were dealing with Gandhi. Jinnah, the English viceroy, they just couldn't figure him out. They found him to be a bundle of riddles, and because the Anglo-Saxon way of logic, which is based on Greek philosophy, is Ra pakad tu ek chala chal, pa jayega Madhushala. But Gandhiji wasn't looking for Madhushala. He understood. And young people need to be explained this in their language. I don't blame young people. I blame old people for not taking the trouble
to bring that way of being, yeah.
I have a similar question that simply weekends are clearly different. I'm going as clean as that. But on one side, you got the egocentric way, which is centered around I must succeed, I have to make something happen. This is mine. That is the primary mind thing that you're talking about. One is, of course, the intellectual part, but also this part, I don't go for it, right? That's so many solid things which we've been taught. There's another aspect, and you can call it soul, being, heart. And these are two apparently divergent things. What do you think in your wisdom, like that? If we could sort of make this ego thing, make it lower, and this heart thing a little higher, what do you think would happen to the leadership on any one hour?
No, how do you make that happen?
That I know. That is what I do very well.
That's fine. If you know how to do it, you do
Do
it.
it, we're gonna make that happen. But suppose you could for a moment, what do you think would be the outcome?
We'll have a world where there'll be fewer people aiming to be winner takes all. The problem with the world is not winning. The problem with the world today is winner takes all. मुझे भी चाहिए, उसको भी हारना चाहिए.
And this is not the Tata way.
It's not the Tata way, it's not the way of positive leaders. हम भी जीतेंगे, आप भी जीतेंगे. In the, I think it was Atlanta Olympics, 1996. I think it was Atlanta. Nike put up a hoarding. And the hoarding said something like, you don't win silver, you actually lost gold. Everybody can't get a gold medal. Why are you butkaing people to think that it's a silver jeetne se kya fayda, you lost gold? It is that type of winner takes all. Look at the startups today. I mean, it's ridiculous that you want to achieve in 5 years a valuation with something that Tata took 50 years to make. And it's like raising your child, a new grandson or son who born in your house. You want him to read Shakespeare and do Ramanujam mathematics at the age of 10. You produce a distorted child, not a balanced human being. And don't try to do that to your child.
Any last piece of advice for the youngster that heard from this? Anything you want to say about they don't have to be Abraham Gandhi? Anything?
No, I think we have a wonderful future. There are many people who are advancing that future, and there are some who are stopping it. But that's like in the laws of physics. There is a force moving forward, there's friction which is holding backward. Be influenced by the forces moving it forward. Great ideas don't have a shelf life. Ambitions have a shelf life. And if you're a young person, you're bound to have ambition. Absorb great ideas. If you don't think Gandhi is a great idea, take it from somebody else. That's not the issue. But great ideas don't die. They are vitamins without a shelf expiry, or medicine without a shelf expiry. And we tend to jettison their past great ideas on the ground that they are not relevant anymore. And this is like a middle-aged person jettisoning his wife, thinking he's finding your wife. I've never found a man with 5 wives very happy. Maybe they exist, but I don't know them. But I have a lot of people, a lot of friends who got one wife, who had their ups and downs, but they're happy. Like I am, God has given me